Hello, 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 everyone. It is Monday night on November 11th, and I'm going to give everybody a few seconds so I can see if I've got some chat comments coming in. May take it a minute because everything's running a little slow. We've been having some weird issues. I thought it was okay the way it was, but yeah, I think a little lighter's better, I think.
This one?
One more?
That one?
Yep, I think that's better. Okay. Kathy is here, the camera assistant. She is she is gonna probably disappear here shortly. I don't even think she's gonna come on at all. So I am tired, I really am, and I mean it this time. I know I said that last week and we went 2 hours, but I would really love it if we could kind of keep it to an hour today, because I do have to be up early for blood work tomorrow. So it would be really nice. Fergus would like to join the show today. He is getting on his own personal stool. He's been a good big brother. He's doing really, really good. And please don't scratch on that. Thank you. Okay. Life with cats. Other little Miss Kitty is downstairs, and I had a picture, and let's see if I can. She is enjoying her new bed downstairs. And I have a little cute picture, and I'll pull it up for you guys. She's so cute. She actually is the first cat that we've had that actually enjoys the little red laser thing. I bought this one for Fergus that does this all random stuff and moves it all around randomly, and it goes off by itself. And he would just look at it like, really, seriously, you think I'm going to chase that? And then last night I turned it on for her, and she kept coming to me and asking me to turn it back on again when it would turn itself off. It was actually adorable. She made me turn it on like 6 times. And it was fun. But I think she probably kept Kathy and Finley awake because she was running around so much. But let's see, get the little, make it bigger. Oh, she's laying in her little bed downstairs on top of my file cabinet. It looks like a spider. Let's see. There you go. It looks like she's in a little mouth. And she's just adorable. And she has to be a kitten. There's no way that she is a year old because of the way that she runs around and acts very kittenish. And she has the little kitteny voice, the little high-pitched kitteny voice. So it's very cute, very cute. So let's see who we have with us today. Hydran is here. Hello. Angela is here. Angela, you're doing double duty. You just left here not long ago. It's good to see you. Gina is here. Aziara is here. Yeah, I have my Creator Camp shirt on. I was on Team Purple this year. Kathy was on Team Purple last year, but I was on Doc's team, so we were the purple team this year. And let's see. Anne is here. I think I caught Gina earlier. And Gina says, let's see the new kitty too. Yeah, well, I would love for you guys to actually see the new kitty, but the new kitty doesn't like to be picked up yet. So it's a little hard for us to kind of get her where we want her to be unless she just decides she wants to be up here. But honestly, she's been downstairs most of the evening. She has discovered that little bed, and that is where she wants to be today. The other day, she wanted on Fergus's bed in Kathy's office, which kind of put him out a little bit, but she hasn't gone back to that one. Now she's down in this new bed that we got specifically for her, so he can't be upset about that one. Let's see. Apple's here. Hello. Jill's here. Lisa. Roxy. Ms. Crab. Brandy. Wow, everybody's here today. And I'm glad to see everyone. Today has just been one of those days where everything is just way more frustrating than it needs to be. And I got way less done than I wanted to get done because I felt like I've spent the whole day either in chats or on the telephone dealing with like insurance and pharmacy and things like that. So all the fallouts of no longer having insurance provided by your employer. And we got insurance through the marketplace after that. And it's not that it's bad insurance or anything. It's just that we went from having this like super luxury coverage. We didn't think it was luxury at the time, but now we kind of realize that we kind of had it really good. And we had, relatively low copays for everything. And our deductible was fairly low. And, now we've gone to this other insurance. It's on the same company, but it's a different plan, of course, because it's not the company plan. And so everything is just a little bit more expensive. But the thing that is the biggest impact is the cost of medications. So it's making it hard to budget is what it's happening. And now it's also time now to figure out what we're going to do for next year, because it's what do they call that? It's the marketplace time to sign up for the next year. And so now I'm trying to look at, okay, well, now we know what all this would cost with this plan. Like, do we want to go to a different plan? I mean, like, how does that work? And so we actually have been working with a healthcare, I think they call them associates. I'm not sure, but anyhow, she's part of an elite team, and their job is to navigate the marketplace for people, and that's what they do for a living. And she's been extremely helpful. And I don't know how anyone could navigate all this information without having somebody that can help them do it. Like, if I didn't have somebody that I could ask questions to, or somebody that could look stuff up for me, I would probably spend entire days going down rabbit holes with this stuff. And I mean, who really has time for all this? And I think probably maybe at some point you just get frustrated and go, well, I'm just going to go with this because I just can't think about this anymore. And then maybe you don't get what you needed. And I think it's really important right now that we all focus on what we actually need. So let's see who else has popped in here. Gina says, I know those days well, and it can take hours. And it can. And it's like, I'm like, oh my God. And Angela says, are you selecting a silver plan? Not sure. I'm going to let our person, I gave her all the information about the stuff that I feel like is going.
Probably will do silver. You can say that we did bronze because we were just doing it for 3 months and with your severance.
I don't know if you can hear Kathy at all, but we did the bronze plan initially since I had severance pay. We went ahead and did that because it was cheaper than what the Cobra was going to be. And so now we're actually taking the time to look through and figure out what we actually need. And so, So we're looking at a silver, and I'm even contemplating a gold plan that incorporates more of the local doctors and stuff. That kind of falls more in line to like what we had as far as cost wise for medications and things. But it's a lot to look at and try to figure out. And so having this person in our corner really helps. Sorry, there's a weird noise. I'm trying. I think one of the cats has gotten into something. I can't quite figure out what it is.
Is that my office?
Yeah, I think it's in your office. It might be Fergus. Nope, it's not. It's the little one. I could see her big ears shining in the light in there. She is so crazy. She just runs everywhere. So yeah, that's what we're doing. Trying to just figure out exactly what we need, kind of balancing out what's best for the budget and things like that. So, but it's very frustrating and just time consuming. And I had all these things I wanted to get done today. And of course, no, I had to sit there and go down rabbit holes.
No.
Let's see. Plants Only Muncher is here. And Brandy says, it's tough. It's hard not knowing what to ask or look for if you don't know what to look for. And it's true. And I kind of have an idea of what I need to look for based on, what medications I take and stuff. But a lot of these plans, they give you some information, but unless you dig deeper, you don't see all the fine print on things like, oh yeah, here's how much the different tiers cost, your copay for the different tiers for medication costs, but then you don't see that fine print that says after you meet your, $8,000 deductible for the year. Most of the time, those medications aren't even going to come to that amount. So, it's just, we got to kind of look at it, and I feel much better today after I sent her all the information. I know she's going to look at all that, and she may be able to look at it in a way, because my brain is going, find the thing that pays for the most and don't care what it costs. But I know that's not the right way to do it, and I know that she's going to look at it and she's going to say, okay, here's how much your stuff costs, and here, if you go with this, it's a better balance of things. And so I'm just going to take her advice and look at what she proposes. And she'll give us a couple options, and then we'll just choose from there. So hopefully this was the only day I needed to go through any kind of deep rabbit hole. I know Kathy kind of had to initially do a little rabbit hole to try to get us to this point. So, and I appreciate that she did that. I do not have the patience for it at all. And Aziara says, it takes time, but it'll get easier, and you're laying groundwork. Next year, it will not be as time consuming or frustrating. Right. And that's my goal, is to have something that can just carry over, and maybe there's just some pricing differences or something like that. But I can kind of keep to the same thing, because I'm not a change advocate. I do not like it. That's why I stayed in the job for 17 and a half years, because I liked that, not having to deal with change and things like that. And Angela is saying that the silver can be a decent plan. And I was seeing that today. So that's definitely on the list. And I'm going to see what she comes back with between that. I definitely think that the bronze is probably not going to be something for us to stick with at this point. Let's see. And everybody's chatting, and I love that. Let's see, and Hydron says, is our advisor an insurance broker or an insurance agent? I'm not exactly sure what the title is, but I think it's a broker. Her job is to navigate the marketplace for people and she gets paid by the marketplace, not by us. It's a free service to us. So I'm not exactly sure what you call that. We were very, very lucky that she is a friend of a friend, and she wasn't taking new clients, but we were very, very grateful that she was able to squeeze us in because we were a friend of a friend in that. Oh, so glad of that. Let's see who else we have. Everybody is chit-chatting. This is awesome. I love it. All right, and Brandy says, my son had to go through all of that, finding new coverage when he turned 18. It's overwhelming. It is. It is definitely overwhelming. Doc is in the house. I was just talking about you, and I was just bragging about my purple camp shirt. Doc was in charge of our team. Our team name was the Royals this year. And it's good to see you. Miss you too. You need to come to North Carolina for a visit so we can hang out. And Angela said that she found that most of the marketplace reps were very knowledgeable. Yeah. And that was one thing that amazed me is like the first time that we talked to her on the phone, she was just like, blah, 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 all this right off the top of her head. And in fact, the week that we talked to her, she was going to all the conferences and things that they have at the beginning of the year when they talk about what all the new changes are going to be and all that stuff. So she was actually talking to us in between sessions of those things. And so she was getting a lot of information that was going to be for this year. So I feel like she's super knowledgeable. And Elizabeth says, hey, if anything, this makes us realize that the healthier we get, the less we will hopefully need meds and so many doctor's appointments, right? I mean, that's the goal. I got a long way to go. But that is the goal. And actually this, like even Kathy asked me earlier today, isn't this motivation to you to like really want to get off some of these meds and stuff that you're still on? And I was like, oh yes, definitely. Because really, if I didn't have to deal with medications, I think that, the Bronze Plan would be fine for us. But it's just that the medications that I am on are all considered tier 2, even though they're diabetes drugs. And so, but that's because I use like the long lasting insulin and stuff, and I don't do the constant, adjusting of things. It's once a day kind of thing, right? So I don't want to go back to having to use the little vials. I don't want to go back to, having to prick my finger constantly. I like having a continuous glucose monitor. It keeps me more accountable. And that's one of the things that, changing over to a different insurance company, even though it's the same Blue Cross Blue Shield that I was with, because it's a different policy thing, they don't cover the glucose monitor in the same way as it did under my business's insurance. So now I have to actually, according to the girl that I talked to today, I have to actually start over because it's a step, what'd she call it, a step medication, where you have to try something else before you can go to that. And I'm like, I already did all the something else's. I already did the step stuff. I did this over the past several years. And this is where we got to. And I don't want to have to start over with that. So hopefully, she was saying if I talk to my doctor, there's a form my doctor can fill out. And hopefully my doctor can fill that out and I can kind of skip that. And we can just go straight to, yes, okay, this is approved. And I can get my glucose monitors. Because I have not had my glucose monitor now for 2 weeks. And I can really tell the difference because I I'm not constant, even though I'm not constantly checking, which is a good thing because sometimes I overcheck, that I'm not checking at all now. And that's not a good thing either. But I hate the poking of the finger thing. I don't like it. And I also don't like that, like, if we have this technology and it makes people more accountable, why are we not just freely going, yes, this is a great thing for a diabetic to have so that they know how everything they put in their mouth affects them? And I don't understand why, if you're an insurance company and your whole thing is you want to save money against, big bills from hospital stays and stuff, why are you not just pushing these things that are going to help that use technology, right? I don't get it. But, yeah, it's, it's crazy. It's like Apple says, it sounds like insurance is big business in the States. And I think it is. And I don't think I ever realized, it's just not, it just doesn't make any sense to me. And then it makes you worry. It makes you worry for the person who maybe isn't that technologically inclined and they don't know to go on the internet and look for things, and they just look and they take the cheapest thing and they think they're okay. And I just feel like things could be done so much better, but we're here. And at least right now we're at a point where there are subsidies and there are things in place so people who couldn't ever get insurance before can get insurance, which that makes me feel better. But I still think it's just ridiculous how much information that the average person who doesn't have a friend of a friend who knows somebody, right? Who may not know. I didn't even know that these people existed until a friend told me. So I'm sure there's probably, and I'm a fairly knowledgeable person about current events. So that tells me that there's probably a large part of our population who doesn't even know that there's somebody that can help them navigate that marketplace. So kind of like it's scary a little bit, right? And Angela says, you'll get there, Cheryl, you can do it. I can do it. And, every day it's a day closer to my best health, and I'm just going to keep working on that. We have setbacks, things happen. The world around us changes. People get laid off. Pets pass away. All these things impact us. They impact everything about us, inside and out, right? So, and it's human nature. And no one should ever beat themselves up because their life that happened around them set them back a little bit. I'm talking too much and my throat's getting dry. But nobody should beat themselves up about it, right? So Kathy and I know that we have not been eating the best that we could. We've been getting in, like, every time we'll be like, okay, today we're going to bop, 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 bop. And then all these things go bam, pow, 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 pow. All this other stuff happens. There's no stability, it feels like, right now in our life. It feels like everything is crazy. It feels like every time that something just like, we're like, oh, take the breath. We're going to take the breath today, and we're going to do something for us. We're going to do something fun. We're going to relax. We're going to just catch up on Agatha all along, which it took us until yesterday to finally see all of that. I'm so glad we did, but it took us a long time to get there, and it's so hard right now to traverse internet things without people talking about it. And Lisa, I appreciate you not giving any spoilers and just saying, let me know after you've watched it. Because, I mean, like, there were spoilers coming at us from everywhere, and we were just like, la, 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 la. So we got that done, and then last night, actually, I ate dinner really, really late because we went to this really cool. Okay, do you remember us talking about the cool farm that we went to with Helene to check out for future events for the Veg Fest in Nightdale? It's called Haven Farm, and it's kind of out where my old house used to be, kind of between Nightdale and Wendell. And beautiful farm, wedding venue that they've set up there. They've got a yurt that you can rent and camp, and they have some campsites out in the woods. It's just, they've done a great thing. They've got a little shop that has, like, you know, the typical kind of farm shop things. It's got, like, you know, teas and jarred pickles and jams and all that kind of stuff. But then they have a coffee bar. They actually, it's like a proper coffee house, and they have, you know, alternative milks. They have some vegan snackage available around, and it's just a cute little place. And on the weekends, they do like wellness things there. They do yoga and just all sorts of stuff. And we're very interested in going out there more often just because it's very relaxing and everything. But anyhow, off on my tangent, we went back there this weekend because the Triangle Veg Fest, put on by Helene, our friend, actually did what she called the Vegan Foodie Fest. It was a first of its kind in the area. If anybody does stuff with their local Veg Fest stuff, this might be an idea that you guys might be interested in. So, you know, basically they bring in all the vegan food trucks and the vegan vendors and things like that for stuff. Well, on this one, you actually paid one price for your ticket, and then you got a little ticket that had like different boxes with names of vendors. And you would go to those vendors and hand them your ticket, and they would give you a little sample size of something. And so there were like 6 or 7 on there. I thought it was a very good bang for the buck. I thought it was a great idea. The location was perfect. It was really well done. They had this crazy live band there that wore broccoli heads and sang songs about broccolis and vegetables. And I don't know who they are. A lot of people seem to know who they were. I've never seen them before. I was trying to figure out if they were like kids entertainers and they were just there, or if that was just their thing and they just went and did parties and bar mitzvahs and all that kind of stuff with their broccoli heads singing their broccoli song. And it was so cute, and I really enjoyed it. We had, you know, a pretty relaxing day, and we went with our friends, Faith and Jessica, the nurses that you guys have heard about time and time again. And then when we got home, we had settled in to relax, and I was just getting ready to sit down and eat some dinner when we got a call that a friend of ours needed to go, that was having a medical issue that needed to go to the hospital. And so their son came and stayed last night with us. So then, you know, now we've got a kid in the house and we're not used to, like, you know, having anybody stay in the house with us. So it was weird, but then it was okay. I mean, we've known him since he was born. Actually, I held him the day he was born in the hospital. So it's not like it was some just random kid staying in the house, but it was just different because not used to having a teenager in the house. And it actually went really, really well because I was like, oh, I'm like, had this vision of me like not being able to sleep because worried about him up roaming around or whatever. But him and Kathy passed out. They went downstairs, they went to bed, and I was the fool that stayed up till 3 o'clock in the morning in front of the TV because I was on the computer going down rabbit holes. And so I've decided that tonight I'm going to shut that computer down, and even though there's some things I really need to get done tonight, I'm probably just going to shut it down and go to bed and just push that stuff off to the morning because I got to rest. I got to take care of me. And I hope, the last time we all talked, we talked about taking care of ourselves before we took care of anybody else. And I hope over the past week that everyone has done that. I did not hit my goals the way I wanted to. I made steps towards that. I did do some adventure walkies, but I didn't do them at a specific time each day. And I was doing good at cutting back the time that I was staying up, but I didn't successfully just go, yay, I get up at 8 o'clock every day now. Because I've still been staying up a little too late, but I tried to push those hours back. And I was doing okay, and then last night I let it go too long again, but I did get up early this morning. I set my alarm, and because I wanted to make sure he was ready to go when his folks came to pick him up and stuff. So there's that. Come here. Oh, you might get a visit. Come here. Come here. We'll see if she comes around. She might get nosy enough that she might come up here. She's so cute. But anyhow, tomorrow I'm gonna wake up at the same time, because I got up at 8, I guess it was 8:15. I set my alarm for. So I only had about 4.5 hours sleep last night, and I really need more than that. I know I need more than that to reset and rest properly, because we all know how important our sleep is. But tomorrow, since I have to go do my blood work first thing in the morning, I'm going to have to get up a little bit earlier than that. I'm going to have to get up about 7:15. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to get up, get ready, get in the car, go get my blood work done. And when I get done with my blood work, I am going to go hit one of the walking trails over in Chapel Hill around the Whole Foods area. There's a lot of little walking path kind of things. There's like a greenway. And I think I'm going to go hit that greenway in the morning after I get my blood work done and just knock that out and get it done for the day. And then see if after I do that tomorrow, because I'm going to be there anyhow. So there's no sense of me not doing it, right? I'm just going to leave the doctor's office and go the block and a half to the Whole Foods parking lot, park my car, get out, and just start walking. And then hopefully that'll put me in a good position for tomorrow, for the next day, to be able to get up about 8 o'clock and then just head out the door and go either do adventure walkies or just walk around the neighborhood. Kathy took a really long walk around the neighborhood today. I think she was out there for almost 2 hours walking around, and she was really smart, because what she did was she had some phone calls she needed to make and some people she needed to talk to. She put in her headphones, headed out the door, and had all her conversations that she needed to have while she was walking. And I think that's a great idea. Let me get to some of these comments, because I'm sorry I've been letting them get a little bit by. Oh, Hydran. Yes, I agree with you with this comment that in the U.S., medical insurance is pretty much the show. It is a complete show. So, and I didn't realize that. I was living in some little stupid bubble going, oh, insurance. I don't know why insurance is so hard for some people, because it's just, well, you just pay your copays. No, it's hard. If you don't have it through your work, it's hard. Alrighty, let's see. And Brandy says, I hate that insurance companies try to get you to change your meds to prove they don't work. Come let people keep their meds until they no longer work. Exactly. I just, my meds are working for me, and I want to keep them. because we worked really hard to tweak them, and then with me losing weight and then moving more, and then all these things had to be, constantly tweak. And now I've got to a point using the tools that I have been given. I know how to tweak things, and I can use them as the tools they are made to be. And if I change to something else, then I've got to start all over again trying to figure out how to regulate things. And I just don't want to have to do that. So, I'm hoping when I talk to the doctor, and tomorrow is just blood work, and then the following Tuesday will be my actual doctor's appointment with Dr. Bean. And I am sure that Dr. Bean and I will have a good conversation, and she'll have some ideas about what we should do. Because when Kathy had her meeting with Dr. Bean, they had it all figured out for her. So I'm sure we'll get me figured out too. And you're right, Doc, it is frustrating. And yes, Gina, it is all big business. I think it's capitalism at its finest. And Lisa says one of the best things about moving to Canada was not having to deal with medical insurance anymore, right? Oh, every time I talk to you, it sounds more and more appealing to me. You might have to get a room ready. And Jill says, there are assistance programs for meds. I'll email you. That would be fantastic. I would really, really appreciate that. I know about the Good RX cards and things like that. And I know we use Costco, and Costco has their own kind of thing that they try to help you with, but they can only do so much. So I'm hoping, that I can get enough information that for the next at least 2 months or so, that I can kind of balance out what I need to balance out. And Brandy was saying that for the marketplace, there are subsidies, which are amazing. And yes, it is definitely amazing. And Brandy says, most people don't know that their meds can be paid for unless they talk to their doc and tell them that they can't. I think I get what you're saying with that. Yeah. And like Gina says, it's overwhelming at first, and I will learn more and it'll get easier. And I think I just had to have today to just be like, you know how you just you have to at some point, you have to just scream a little bit, pound your fists. Sometimes it's good just to get that little release of anger. And I know what Angela's going to tell me. I need to go exercise that out. Exercise that demon. And Ms. Crab says, it's so hard when everything is just crazy to just focus on what you eat. Right? It is. And when everything gets crazy, this is when we all have those little, I'm going to call it setback, but you all know me well enough to know that I'm not saying a setback is a failure by any means. I'm just saying we all have those times where it's like, oh, there's so much going on, and then you can't, and then somebody like me and Kathy, where we have a little ADHD type stuff going on, makes it even harder trying to focus on all the different things, coming at us sometimes. And we tend to get a little too focused on one thing and then miss these other things sometimes, or else everything goes crazy. It's just, and it depends on the day, which makes it even harder, is that it depends on the day. And, but when you're having that moment, when you're feeling that overwhelm, you don't really have, I'm going to say, we've talked about the spoons before. Kathy's talked about the spoons before, you know, how many spoons you have available to you. And when all that's going on and you just suddenly find that you don't even have any spoons left, and then you can't focus on what you need to focus on to feed yourself properly. And that's happened to me quite a bit in the past few weeks. I get to the point, like, I'm going, and I'm trying to do, and I'm like back into the old habit of not eating when I should. And then what happens is I go too long, and then I can't make a decision. So I hit hangry, and then I get a little beyond hangry, and I'm kind of not nice to be around. But then very quickly, when anybody tries to help me at that point, I don't snap at them. I don't yell at them once I get past that point. I do kind of before that, but once I get to that point, and I'm sure everybody's felt this way too, because you're just like, I gotta eat. Then I can't think what I need to eat. I can't think what I want. Because at that point, I just need something. And Kathy's gotten really good at kind of noticing when that's happening and kind of steering me towards the apples, or steering me towards some oranges or some bananas or something if we're at the house now. But if we're out and we're running errands, or we're doing some kind of function or something like that, and I'm just overwhelmed and I'm not thinking about what I need to do for myself, then I get to that point where I can't make a decision. So I can't, like, it's almost like a brain fog. And it's like, I know that I need to, like, go find some rice and some vegetables. I know, I could just get some potatoes. Like, I'll look and say, there's a bowl restaurant. I know I could get some rice. I know I could get some beans, you know, and I'll see these things and I'll know that, and I'll know that'll be a good decision. But I can't make the decision to actually physically turn in there, and then I'll just do something completely off the rails, like eat a bean taco from Taco Bell. Which then makes me feel really doubly bad because it doesn't set well with me. And then I'm not happy because I didn't do anything good for myself. But I didn't fail, because the next time that happens, I'm going to try to learn from when that happened how to recognize when it's happening again. And I know, and we're all saying, and I'm saying this, but I know we're all going, but that's easier said than done. And it's true. It is easier said than done. And we all get ourselves in these situations. And then the thing we need to do is we need to think for us. Like, I know what I need to do when Kathy gets that way. I know exactly what I need to do for her, right? So why can't I just do it for myself? Because I know what to do for her. So for me, it's easier for me to kind of try to, because it's my nature to take care of people, it's easier for me to take care of her, and then myself kind of goes along with that, right? So that's kind of how I'm trying to navigate this week and try to learn from just the that last week was. And I'm sure a lot of us had those moments. But this week I'm going to focus on trying to just, I know what she needs. What she needs is exactly what I need. And so I'm going to focus on, trying to make sure that when she's got her head down working, that I go over there and say, hey, you want me to make us some rice? Like today, she made us rice. And so it was very easy. I just said, should we pull out some of the Indian food? And I went downstairs and I got some of our frozen Indian food that we get every month and popped some in the microwave. And within 30 minutes or so, we were sitting down and we were eating and everything was good. We just need to keep doing that one step at a time and get ourselves back on track. She's made some sweet potatoes, so now we have sweet potatoes in the refrigerator. And that's another thing that gets out of hand, and I'm sure that you've all dealt with, is when the refrigerator gets out of hand, when the refrigerator needs cleaned out, when you have so much junk in there, and I shouldn't say junk, when you have so many containers of stuff, like for us, she has a class, then all these things go in there, and then there's all the vegetables on top of that. Then we go to the farmer's market, we bring home more vegetables, and it's like everything gets in there, and then stuff gets to the back that you don't see. Out of sight, out of mind, right? And so you don't eat those things, and now the day comes where you can't get anything else in there because these things haven't been consumed as you had expected to, and now you're getting rid of vegetables that you had planned on making, and now they're not edible anymore. You have to throw them out or put them in the compost pile. And containers of the leftovers from classes or just from other dinners because they got pushed to the back and you didn't see them. So another thing that we're doing is we kind of cleaned out the refrigerator a little bit, and we're trying to make sure that we cycle through the things that we need. So right now we're trying to cycle back in the stuff from the class this weekend. Kathy had a Thanksgiving class in Kathy's cooking club. And so she made some pumpkin lasagna that was yummy with some chickpea lasagna noodles. We still have a little bit of that. And then we've been using her caramel sauce that she made for apples as a little dessert treat. And she made a big thing of my favorite Brussels sprout slaw. And so we've been eating on that a little bit. So we want to try to get through those things so that we don't have to throw those things out and try to cycle things through. And that also makes it easier for us to be here working our heads down, and instead of getting to the point where I'm like, I can't make a decision, I can open that door and now there's already food in there for me to make. And tonight, when we made the little Indian containers, what Kathy did with the leftovers, because we never really ever finish, like we'll pull out maybe 3 things. Like tonight I pulled out the vegetable korma and the dal makhani, and then a tadka, I'm not sure what that dal tadka or something like that. And we pulled out a 4th thing that was like a mushroom masala from something else. And so we just had little bits of each, kind of our own little Indian buffet. And we never finish it all. There's always enough for at least another lunch or something, because we eat pretty small portions of it. And you know how I am. I just take little bites of stuff because I like it, but I don't love it. So I'm not going to overeat on that. And so what Kathy did was she took the rice and she put the rice in containers, and then she put the leftovers on top of the rice so that we now have a couple little lunches already made for tomorrow, so that tomorrow when I'm going, I should have ate, what should I grab? What should I grab? Should I order something? What should I do? I can open up that, take it out, put it in the microwave, and then I have lunch. And I don't have to panic, and I don't have to worry, and it's good for me, and it's compliant, and it is on plan for me, and it helps me get back to where I need to be. So that's how I'm going to take care of myself and Kathy this week. And I am going to keep continuing to work on trying to get my morning time to be earlier so that I can immediately go out and do my walk instead of randomly doing it whenever. I think we talked last week about, as a group, what time would be best for me based on my habits and things like that. And to ensure my success, I think we all came to the conclusion that if I could just get up and do that first thing, then we would be good to go for the rest of the day. So that's what we're shooting for. What was something that you were hoping to do over the past week that maybe current events or life things happening got in your way and you just really want to do better or want to work on this week? Is there something that you would like all of us to maybe put our opinion in for you or something? Is there some way that we can help you be successful this week? And have you made goals for this week yet? I'm going to get over here to the comments. And Gina was like, Agatha. Oh, Gina. And Lisa, yes, is like, yes, Agatha all along. It's a show on Disney Plus. And it's a Marvel show, and you would never guess that it was a Marvel show. And it's just, we found it like just refreshing. It was just something totally different and refreshing from Marvel. It was based on the Scarlet Witch. If you watched WandaVision, it's kind of a loosely an off, well, I know not even loosely, it's an offshoot of the WandaVision. So if you watch that, you will probably like Agatha all along. Let's see. And Brandy says teens are fun when they're not being sus. That's exactly right. And our little teen can be delightful, and I really love when he's around. And Brandy says we do need to fill our own cup first, and that is absolutely correct. Jeremy is here. Hey, Jeremy. Good to see you. And Haziara says there's always tomorrow, and if not, we've got bigger problems. That is true. That is absolutely true. And Gina says progress, not perfection. And that progress, not perfection is so key. Like, we just want to keep going in the general direction that we want to be going. And, you know, it's kind of like when you like really monitor your weight loss, right? And you keep track of it and you start like looking at it every day, and then you get mad because you'll be like, do, and then do, and it's just that little stairwell kind of up and down. If you look at the trajectory, you're going in the right direction, but you get frustrated because the days that it kind of pops up a little bit before it goes down. And so it's almost like a little stair kind of thing, and it always frustrates us because we're like, no, you're going in the wrong direction. And for that day, it does look like it's going in the wrong direction, but if you take something and lay it across there, you'll see that your trajectory is still going in the right direction. And Brandy's saying that progress is amazing, and it doesn't need to be perfect. Perfection holds a person back. Yes. I think we've talked about that a lot of times on here and on Kathy's shows and stuff too, that it's like perfection. Like Kathy will sometimes say when I'm trying to be a little bit like all about something, she'll be like, perfection doesn't exist. And I'll be like, yeah, but I want to be just right. And she'll be like, and, Doc has always told us too, like Doc is our video coach. And if he's still on here, he'll tell you, he will be the first to tell you that done is always better than perfect. And done is always more profitable than perfect as well when it comes to things. So like if you're writing a book or you're, doing some kind of a project that you're trying to make money off of, and you're holding yourself back because you're going, oh, well, I can't go live yet because I haven't done this, or this, or I can't put that page up because I haven't done this other stuff. Well, if you keep waiting until you get all that other stuff done, you're never going to do it. So the best thing to do is just jump in, or jump off and knit your parachute on the way down, as Kathy always says. But just do it. Done is better than perfect. And here I am, because done is better than perfect. Because I still have not got my stuff up yet. I haven't even got my website done. I don't have landing pages done. I don't have anything. And at this point, I'm just kind of like, I'm enjoying hanging out with you guys. I'm enjoying talking to you guys. I'm enjoying us all getting together in this community, and you all talking amongst yourselves and making friends and finding out who lives near who. And to me, community is the most important thing that we have to keep us moving in the trajectory that we want to go. Because when we have these days like I had today, when we have the weeks like some of us have had for the past week, when we have the world swirling around us and all these things keep happening and we're like, why does all this stuff keep happening to me? We have community to lift us up and to kind of hold us a little bit until we can get our feet back up underneath ourselves. And somebody that's just there to say, you got this. How many times today have you guys said, I've got this? And you know what? You tell me enough times, I'm starting to really believe it. I really am. And let's see, Apple says, I met my goals and even had a difficult conversation with a neighbor that I've been avoiding. Wow. That's big progress there, Apple. That's fantastic. Because I tell you what, I'm still in the avoidance mode. Hello, guys. Let's not be too loud, huh? You wanna come up? Come on. Everybody wants to see you, buddy. Yeah. Hey. She follows him around a little bit and he gets frustrated. That's why he came back over here. And Gina says, I can't fall asleep before 3 a.m. and I'm trying to find a way to change it. You and I are in the same boat, Gina. Is it that you can't turn your brain off? I know one of the things for me that I've always been like, oh, that didn't bother me, that doesn't bother me. But it does. When I have the computer open and I keep scrolling and I keep looking at things, my brain is not shutting off. And I really need my brain to shut off. And so I've been doing pretty good this past few days. Well, actually the past week, I've done pretty good about shutting the computer. But then I still stay up a little bit because I have the TV on. But I'm finding that shutting the computer and then maybe having the TV on a little bit actually makes me sleepy, because the shows that I turn on, I make sure are things that don't hold my interest that much and that I find them extremely boring. So I don't put on anything that I really like or anything that has a good mystery to it or anything like that. I watch mindless reality something, and within 15 or 20 minutes, I start dozing and go, oh, I should go to bed. So if that's one of the things that you're doing, Gina, is if you're like me and you're keeping some of that computer going and stuff like that, it's hard. But, we can do this together if you want. We can kind of hold each other accountable and say, hey, did we dial it back maybe 15 or 20 minutes each day and see if we can go to bed a little bit earlier and a little bit earlier every day. And if you want to check in with me each day and say, hey, I got an extra, I was able to cut off 15 minutes tonight, and that's fantastic. We can hold each other accountable this week with that if you want. Just, you got my number, text me. And Gina says, lead her with the laser to the counter. You guys are sneaky. That actually might work. That actually might work. And Brandy says, I've hit goals. Some goals I didn't, and I'm fine with that. I'm giving myself more grace, and it's been helpful. Space and grace. I have always been a huge fan of space and grace. You have to give yourself space to heal, to process. Like all these things that we talk about, we always talk about, we want to process, we want to heal, we want to do this. Everything needs space to do that. And then you have to give yourself grace and not be so hard on yourself. So space and grace, every time, always a winner. And let's see, Tanya says, I'll only be able to stay another half an hour and then I have to go to bed. I'm up at 5 this morning. I was up at 2 for no reason. And Tanya, I know that you have been having a tremendously hard couple weeks, and give yourself space to process all the things that you're going through, and give yourself some grace that it's okay if you need to take time for yourself. I know you got a bunch to take care of over there, but it's okay to take time for yourself. You need to do that to process with all the things swirling around you. And you know we're here for you. And if you need us, you know where to find us. All righty. What else? And Gina says, my mom used to say that the hardest thing to exercise or getting to the gym is the first step out the door. And it's true. And it's I don't care if you're going to a gym or you're going out in your backyard or if you're going across the street or down the road. You've got to get out the front door. And some days that's just really a challenge. And it's, sometimes it's the weather. Sometimes it's just everything going on around you and everything just swirling and swirling. And so, yeah, getting out that door, it can be difficult. So tomorrow, that's why I was saying I'm going to go on an adventure walk, because I have to go out the door tomorrow because I have to go do my blood work. And so if I have to go out that door, there's no reason why I shouldn't go and do the thing, right? And Tanya says, I didn't set or meet any goals this week. We got a sick pup at home now. Yeah. And Tanya, like I said, we're here for you. If you need to reach out and talk about it, we're here for you. We know exactly what you're going through with the sick pup. And we are sorry for your loss of your other animal as well. Jeremy, one day closer to Fiction Kitchen. You're hilarious. Oh, Thanksgiving at Fiction Kitchen, y'all. That is a nice thing to think about. Chef Yin is in the house. Hello. And Jeannie, yes, we are so lucky to have each other. And that's all of you. We are a community, and we are here for each and every one of us. Everybody is here for each other. And we're on the Heartbeat group. If you are not in the Heartbeat group, look in the show notes. There should be a link for you to join the Heartbeat group. There's a huge community over there. We are growing and growing, and I love it. We have lots of things going on over there. Apple is doing some body doubling on Thursdays, and body doubling. I'll just give you the summary that I get out of it. So sometimes we need to know that somebody's there with us while we've got to do some tough things, right? And so for us, when there's body doubling classes going on, we all get together and we may have a quick introduction, and Apple may read something from a book, and then we all go quiet and go into whatever we're going to do, and we're all going to do it together. So I may be cleaning out a box. Somebody else may be finishing up some knitting. And it's all things that we need to get to and we just keep putting off. But if we all sit and do it together, it gets done. And I'm sure Apple can give us a better explanation of the exact thing about bodily doubling, but that's how it feels to me. It feels like having a friend with me while I'm trying to like get the things done that need to get done that I haven't been able to just do because I keep putting it off. And then if I just say, okay, I need to go through that box, I'm going to do that box with Apple on Thursday. And then it gets done. Let's see. Alrighty. Yeah, and Angela, I know. Like, I know these are all issues, and that was why I was saying it's hard for me when I don't have my monitor, because sometimes my monitor, like, is my, I don't want to call it my babysitter, but it kind of is, because it kind of keeps me in line, and I kind of know better, like, if I start feeling like kind of weird for just a twingy minute and I happen to look at my phone and I go, oh, maybe I need to eat something. You know, and I know those things, and that's what makes it frustrating, is because I do know those things. And Ian was saying we love the Korean bowl place she took us to, and that's the place I'm talking about. I love that place, Bibi Bop in Cary. You know, they have the best bowls to me, like just the perfect stuff. They have vegan kimchi, not a fan. Kathy loves it. I think it's too stinky for me. But yeah, and we took Ian and Oz there the first night, actually. I think that they were here, and because it was close to the airport. And yeah, just rice, vegetables, and you can have a sauce. They have vegan miso soup. They have vegan kimchi. Like, it's a really cool place. And everything there is gluten-free. And yeah, Brandy says it is easier taking care of others than ourselves. And it is. And I know I've preached all week about, I do not know what that is. I preached all week about, you know, you have to put your own oxygen mask on before you can help somebody else. And I preached that all last week because I knew we were going to need that in our lives. But very quickly, it gets hard to do. And I have to say that I was all prepared to, like, be all strong and hold things together and, you know, take care of everything. And Kathy woke up on Wednesday of last week and was just like, let's do it. And I was kind of in shock, but also I was in the place that I thought she was going to be in, and she was just like, you know what? Best thing we can do is live our best life. And I was like, okay, so we're doing it. And that it's just because the last time there was an election that Kathy got very stressed out about, her back went out. I was on my way to work and I got a phone call from her crawling. She had crawled from the kitchen all the way to the living room to get her phone to call me because her back went out and she couldn't even get up off the ground. And that was how her stress manifested. And I was preparing for that. Like, I was preparing that this was going to happen. And it didn't. And y'all, she was so strong and so just like matter of fact and confident. And she said, we need to make sure that we have everything the community needs. And we need to make sure that everybody is living their best life. And we're going to be here for everybody. And we're going to do this together. And we're just going to have a place for people to come that they can feel supported and held. And I was like, all right, let's do it. And I was shocked because I was really expecting there was going to be some I don't want to get out of bed stuff. I was expecting there was going to be something manifest like the back or some kind of injury again, and it didn't happen. And y'all, she has been so confident. And I know she has moments where that confidence wanes and she feels the weight of the world and sad. But I mean, y'all, if you could I was so proud of her, just the way she was just like, we're going to do this. We're going to be here for everybody. And it was amazing. And she's so strong sometimes. And I know it was not easy for her, because it was not easy for me to get through several days this week, just because the uncertainty, you hear everybody saying all these things. And so we're going to live our best lives, and we're just going to do what we do and create our community even bigger than it is now, so that everyone has a place that they can call home, that they can come to when things are just not so great, or they're feeling puny, or you're feeling overwhelmed. There are people here that are your friends that you can count on. And that is the community that we want to create. And I hope that everyone here tonight is willing to say, I want to be part of that community and I want to help my friends. Because that's what's going to get us all through whatever comes next, right? And because none of us really know what's coming next. But if we've got somebody that we can reach out to and somebody we can talk to, it doesn't matter if our problem is, I got 5 pounds I can't get off because I'm on a plateau, or I can't even think straight because all these things are happening in my life and I don't know where to start. We are going to be here for you, and we are going to help you through that. And that's our commitment to you. And Brandy was asking, Aziara, thank you. I never wanted to be on the internet. I never wanted to really talk about all the issues that I've gone through, all the weird, things that have happened in my life. I've had some stuff that I haven't even talked to you guys about yet that's just has impacted me tremendously. And, the going from 300 pounds, how I even got there, I don't know. And, I do know now, but at the time I was just like, how did this happen? So it's, I never wanted to be here. I just kind of wanted to be in the corner, living my life, doing my own thing, going to my job every day, getting my paycheck, coming home, just kind of how I thought that things were supposed to be. And you know what? Everything happens for a reason. Everything in our life has happened for a reason. And honestly, I think everything recently that happened to me is more and more starting to look like it was a blessing. It really was. Just the sheer fact that I know where some of you live, and the fact that I'm thinking, oh, if we go on a trip here, we can see so-and-so. The fact that I'm even thinking that I can get in the car and go somewhere and not have to worry about asking somebody for time off and things like that, and that I can go be with my community if I want to, that I can be on here at 9 o'clock at night, I could be on here at 9 o'clock in the morning. I don't have to sit here and constantly check my phone and make sure anymore that something's going on. I'm starting to feel that freedom that comes when you start to realize that everything is falling in place. And it feels good. It really does. And if me being, just very visible in the things that I fail in or falter or have setbacks with, or however you want to look at it, if me being able to talk about what has happened to me helps other people to overcome things and helps other people to have a happy life, I am here for that. I am here for you. And if you have questions, like, I'm happy to answer them. If there's something that you want to know, I'm happy to answer it. I'm very transparent about things, and I'm happy to talk about anything that you want to that may have happened in my past or whatever that I have been overcoming. I'm happy to talk about that. A lot of the stuff just never has come up, so I don't really talk about it. But if it comes up, I'll talk about it. And thank you, Gina. That was First Seeds that we had tonight. It's oil-free, mail-order Indian food. It is delicious. Some folks are like, well, it's a little bland, but you got to realize this stuff is completely compliant. I think it's delicious for what it is. You can get a no-salt version. So it's no salt, no oil. And, like, it's Indian food, y'all. There's no such thing as bad Indian food. I'm sorry. There just isn't. It's delicious. And I highly recommend it. And y'all know how picky I am. I am picky, picky, picky. And I find this stuff delightful. All right. Get through this so we can wrap up. I'm already 19 minutes over where I said I was going to be. And I don't want to keep you guys up all night tonight. Let's see, Joni is here. It's nice to see Joni here. And yes, fridge management can be hard, and it can be a source of a lot of issues. Like for us, I'm sorry, if I can't see it in the refrigerator, I don't remember it's there. It goes bad, and then Kathy thinks I didn't like her food. And that's not the case. It's just a case of it got lost in the back of that refrigerator, and then I didn't eat it. And it's a big refrigerator. Things get lost in there easy. It's huge. All right. And Brandy was saying, some people like to put their shoes by their bed so there's no excuses. That's kind of a great idea too. I like that. And Angela says, congrats on 15,000 subscribers. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I think we might be just slightly over 15,000 now, and we really appreciate all of you in trusting us to build this community for you. Looks like Jeremy was doing his rowing today. Jeremy does dragon boating, which I find fascinating. And Jeremy, one of these weekends, I'm going to go watch you because I just find that absolutely fascinating, the whole rowing thing like that as a team. And Brandy says, I need to start walking as well. I will start walking for 20 minutes Monday to Friday in the mornings. And that's perfect. And you know what, Brandy, if the first time you go out, you're like, oh, I can't make 20 minutes, whatever amount of minutes you do is successful and towards that goal. So if you just go out for 10 minutes because that's all you can do, then tomorrow, maybe you can do 15. And then the day after that, do the 20. And then from there on, do your 20. And then you might get used to doing that 20 and think, you know what, this week I'm going to do 30. And kind of shoot for that too. Gina says, I had a mini crisis last weekend. I had an oil-free potluck and the dish I made failed. Any suggestions of oil-free things I could buy at a store last minute besides paper products? Well, I mean, salad, always. And then, my go-to is always the, and I don't know if you have an Aldi's. That's the only thing. At our Aldi's, we have oil-free tomato sauce, like pasta sauce. It's a marinara and it's oil-free that they sell at Aldi's. And I mean, in a pinch, I will throw together some chickpea pasta and some oil-free pasta sauce in a heartbeat and just call it a day. And I don't know anybody that ever complains about a little bit of spaghetti. I mean, you could throw some spices on there, some herbs and stuff, and kind of doctor it up and make it a little fancier. But to just, taste-wise. But that's always easy go-to for me. I do that all the time. I do that with my parents. Like, it's so easy to get them to eat spaghetti. They don't even think twice about it. And I don't have to sit there and go, you're eating vegan. But you put pasta in front of them and they're like, okay. They'll eat it every time. Don't even have to tell them that there's no oil or anything in it. And Kathy will put all the herbs and the spices on top and they don't even know. Let's see, and Jill was saying fruit might be a good option with that. I agree. Fresh fruit, fruit platter. Like when we go to the Indian buffet, one of the things they always have as part of the buffet is they usually have some fruit. Like they usually have watermelon or some kind of melon cut up over there. And I'll always just grab a bunch of that fruit. I love that they put fruit out there because it's a nice, crisp, clean way to clear your palate when you're done eating. And I really like that. And Aziar is saying, don't monitor weight loss every day. I weigh 1 time a week, sometimes no change, then third week drop 3 pounds. Exactly. And I was talking about the stair step, and it makes you crazy if you're constantly monitoring it. You're just trying to pull your hair out because you think, oh, what am I doing wrong? You're not doing anything wrong. It's just the way your body adjusts. Abigail says, I'm thinking of getting a body scale that shows the different body compositions, fat, muscle, etc. There are a lot of those out on the market now. We actually have kind of a version of that. And the thing is, with those two, you're still going to get that kind of stair step kind of thing where you got to watch your trajectory and not get yourself too worked up on the fact that those things could change daily. And take Aziara's advice and maybe just 1 time a week. And Lisa says, I love the support in this community, and we love having you in it. And I think probably in the next few weeks, we might have Lisa on here again. She can help me have a little chit chat. Sometimes I feel like it's easier when I have somebody on with me to kind of go back and forth with. And Jennifer says, I have hit a plateau and I need to start walking, but cannot motivate myself to get up in the morning before work to do it. I'm so frustrated with myself. Don't get frustrated. Give yourself some grace. Like we have talked earlier about the space and grace. This is one of the things that I dealt with a lot. And this is one of the things that I ended up getting a coach for. Because here I was 300 pounds and I could barely get off the couch. And all I would do was roll to the car, go to the office and sit in a chair all day long and not do anything. And then roll back out of the chair into the car, roll back into the house, go sit down on the couch and not do anything. And I was getting to the point where going up and down, we have a split level house and we have to hit stairs to go either up or down. And it was getting really hard. I was getting losing my breath and all that kind of stuff. And I was like, this is not good and something has to change. And so I got a coach to help me with that. But one of the things that I learned was, and I've talked to you guys about before, was sometimes you can't just do it all at once. sometimes you have to make smaller little efforts to get to where you want to go. So maybe tomorrow when you get up in the morning before work, get ready and then walk to your mailbox. If your mailbox is away from the house, like ours is like down at the end of the driveway and across the street. If you have a situation like that you can walk to a mailbox, just walk to that mailbox and then turn around and go get in the car and go to work. If you don't have a mailbox, your mailbox is not that close, and you have a neighbor's that's just maybe a little bit further away, maybe walk to the neighbor's and then go get in your car and go to work. And every day before you get in the car to go to work, you just walk a little bit. And then you'll find yourself, and this is what happened for me, is I found myself every day going, well, I can go a little bit further. I can go a little bit further. And then I would start getting myself up, 10 minutes earlier, 15 minutes earlier, 30 minutes earlier, until I knew exactly how much time I needed to go around the block before I got in the car to go to work. And I didn't push it hard. I didn't walk fast. I didn't get myself all sweaty or anything like that, so I would feel weird not taking a shower before I went to work or anything. I just took a really lax, slow, leisurely paced walk around the block. It's almost exactly a mile if I go down and go around the block and come back to the house. Some days that would take me 45 minutes. Some days it would only take me 30. But I just did it at whatever pace I could do for that day. And I would always do it after I got all ready for work. Here is Fergus. Please don't show your behind to people. He's going to do it. Sit. Come here. But that's how I did it. And I just did that every day before I got in the car. It was like, it was a habit, So like, how you get ready to go, you grab your keys, you grab your pocketbook, and you head towards the car. So for me, I would grab my backpack, and I would head towards the car, and I would put my backpack in the car, and I would walk down and around the block and come back, and then I would get in the car and drive off to work. And I just kept doing that until I kind of made it a habit for myself. And the beauty of this was I was getting stronger and I was able to walk. And as I was doing that and getting stronger, I realized, hey, I don't have to just do this in the morning when I get up and go to work. I can do this at lunch too. And the building that we worked in at the time had a little walking trail around the office park where we were at. That was about 1.5 miles, but there was at one point about halfway around that you could cut back through and cut that in half. And so that's what I would start doing, was I would walk and cut it in half and come back and walk and cut it in half back. Well, the beauty of that was some of my friends at work started noticing what I was doing. And they were like, hey, are you walking at lunchtime? And I said, yeah. And they were like, oh, I'd like to walk at lunchtime. And the next thing I knew, I had people walking with me at lunchtime that wanted to walk with me. And then we would walk and talk, and before we knew it, we weren't taking the shortcut back because we were all blah, 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 not even realizing how far we were going or how much we were talking. And so then I was actually walking twice a day. And all of that just made me stronger and stronger and able to do other things as I went. So you can do this. You can just get up, get ready for work. As soon as you head out to the car, do a quick little lap to a mailbox, to the neighbor's mailbox. It doesn't have to be far. It doesn't have to take you a lot of time. And every day grow on that. And I think you'll find that you'll start getting yourself up when you need to. You'll figure out exactly how much time you need, and you'll make that happen. I have faith in you, Jennifer. Let's see. Gina's with you, Jennifer. And Brandy says, I stepped away from the community because I was going through things, but I'm back. Watch out. We are so glad to have you back, Brandy. I can't wait to tell Kathy that you were here tonight, because she's going to be just like super, super stoked. And Stacy came in late, but that's okay. we don't mind you coming in late. I'm actually been trying to wrap this up, but I'm not very good at it. So I wanted to keep it to an hour. It's now an hour and a half. So I promise I am going to wrap it up now. I'm just going through the comments. Gina says, I honestly think it's my natural circadian rhythm. I might be a vampire. When I worked third shift, I always called myself a vampire too. I think because I would stay up all night and then sleep all day. And Aziara says, the TV in my bedroom broke and I'm not buying a new one. That's awesome. And Brandy says, sleeping is a skill. I'm learning about it because I struggle with sleep. It helps to read before bed because some books are mindless reads. And that's the whole thing for me is I have to be careful because, and you may be like this too, if the book is too interesting, then I can't put it down. And I will literally stay up all night reading a book because there's a mystery or there's something that's making my brain like want to solve something. And Miss Krabs says, I would love an accountability partner on eating healthy for a week if you are interested. I am totally interested in that. Kathy and I are trying to really like temper things back down. There was a lot of eating out over the past few weeks. Pretty much the last month, to be honest. Ever since, when Max started getting sick. And then we were just me losing my job and Max and just everything kept piling on and we just like every time we were like next week hey, next week we're not going to eat out at all, and then we would always find ourselves like, oh, we needed to go run an errand or something, and then we would wait and leave the house at like 3:30 or 4, and then naturally we're out at 5 or 6 o'clock and we're like, oh well, we better get something to eat before we go home. And so now we're trying to kind of change our schedule around a little bit to kind of not get ourselves in that situation. We're trying to make it so that we eat, like even if it's a late lunch, we eat lunch before we go run any errands, and that way less likely that we are going to have a trip to someplace out to eat, or Kathy might have to bring out her emergency dates on the way home, but we get there. We're working on that hard this week. And it's also Indian Buffet Week. If you are in the Durham, Raleigh area, it is the Vegan Indian Buffet this week on Thursday night at the Sitar Buffet in Durham, North Carolina. And if you're in the area, we would love for you to join us. We usually are all in the back room. And we would love for you to come by and say hello. There is oil in the food at the Indian Buffet. But one of the things that we were doing was making that one of our places that we would make an exception because it's only like every couple weeks. So if you're interested and you don't mind a little oil in your food on occasion, come join us. We would love to have you there, and you'll meet quite a few people from the community on there. And Brandy says, they say to keep the same schedule to go to sleep at the same time and wake up at the same time. And one of the things I've found as I've gotten older too is sometimes it doesn't matter what time I go to bed, that I will still get up at the same time that I've kind of gotten up most of my adult life. I will wake up at that time every day. Whether I choose to get out of bed or roll back over and go back to sleep is a whole nother thing. But I do notice that I used to get up for work every day around 7:30, and every day around 7:30 I wake up. Sometimes I just go use the restroom and then I go back to bed for another hour or so. I need to try to just start getting up at that time again because actually, I actually kind of enjoyed having that time in the morning to myself because Kathy and I have always kept different wake up schedules, and kind of having the house to yourself. And sometimes I would do the dishes if there were dishes left, or I'd put things in the dishwasher away and things and kind of surprise her in the morning. And I'd like to kind of get back into that a little bit. All right. Alrighty. Just going through the comments, everybody's kind of talking about it. Aziara says, I got to get more involved in Heartbeat. Goal for the end of the month. Do it. We'd love to see you there. Thank you, Apple, for my description of body doubling. She said was excellent. Thank you. I appreciate that. Stacy says you've got your Christmas thermos cup. Yeah, we love this brand. The Orca brand keeps our ice really good. And so a couple years ago, Kathy bought us Halloween ones. And then the next year I bought us Christmas ones. But they're starting to wear out a little bit. So I don't know if they have cute ones this year. Maybe we'll get a fresh bunch of them. All right. And thank you everyone for pointing out when I went over an hour. I really do. I really do. And Abigail says, I am using my frustration with the election to fuel my determination to get healthier. Amen to Kathy's view. We lived through the other crap, so let's not let anyone get us down. And that's exactly right. Right? No matter how you felt about how things turned out, it's time for you to focus on you. If you're not happy about how all that's going, let's turn to us and our community and our friends, and let's just all take care of each other and just let's get as healthy as we can, because healthy is a fantastic revenge, right? All right, let's see. And Mary says, I'm heartbroken about the election, but I know that life must go on, and it's comforting to know that we have each other. Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, you know, and I do want to point out that we have all sorts of people in this community. So we don't want to make it a political thing. Sorry, I'm messing with this, and I'm probably making weird noises. We don't want it to be this huge political thing, because we have people in our community from all walks of life, actually. And we've had a lot of people reach out to us and just like, you know, reach out to say, hey, you know. And we appreciate that. And not everybody has to think the same. Not everybody has to do the same thing or follow the same people or anything. All that we ask is, if you're a part of this community, is that you're open-minded and think about everyone else in the community as well, and just be a good human being and be kind. This community is all about kindness, right? Kindness and being our best healthy selves. So that is our focus here, above all else, is being kind to each other. And that is what we're going to do. And Brandy says, being our own boss has so much freedom. It's hard, but it's good. It is. It is. And I am really starting to enjoy that. And Yin says, I'm happy to hear you're beginning to enjoy your freedom. Yesterday, Oz and I went for a mini hike at 10:30 a.m. on a Monday, and we were just so grateful this is something we can do. Right? And, you know, even when you guys were here, you know, I was always checking my phone, and I was always panicking about something at work. And then when I was with you, I spent that one night, like up half the night working on stuff from work from that Airbnb we were at. And you know, I don't have to do that anymore. I could actually like enjoy time with my friends. Like I can go on a trip and not have to work on my trip. It was weird at first to be on the trip to the Northeast, because I was having a hard time like going. I kept grabbing my phone, and Kathy's like, what are you doing? And why are you looking at your phone? And I'm like, well, I feel like I should be doing something, right? So I was so programmed to constantly be checking that phone for issues and things going on. I mean, I was a tech support person. That was my job. I had to constantly be monitoring what was happening. And so the first half of that trip, I was kind of panicky. And then the second half of the trip, I started going, hey, we can take our time going home. We don't have to rush this. We can stop and see some more cool things. And it started to kind of sink in, and I could start to feel it. And I kind of felt that good kind of like I've had a vacation feeling, right? I don't think I've had that feeling of having a true vacation probably 17 years. So it just felt so good when we got home that we were able to just kind of take our time and just see all the things. Let's see. Video 1000 Nights says, I went to a whole food plant-based Indian SOS free buffet yesterday. That is amazing, and I would like to know where that is because that might be my next road trip. I suspect it was a special thing. All right. And Gina says, I know people who sleep in their running clothes, so all they have to do is get up and go out the door. Wow, that's commitment. That is commitment right there. I don't think I could sleep in that many clothes. And Mary says, I recently started walking again after a long hiatus. The weather is perfect here in Tucson. That's fantastic. And Brandy says, I am going to be walking during a co-working session I host in the morning. So the first 20 minutes is the first POM. It's doable. I just stopped working out back in 2018 when I got into the car accident. All right. And Video 1000 Nights says beets can be good to bring to a potluck if super last minute. Cut them in quarters. They're kind in the fridge that are cooked. Yes, I actually just got some great beets from the place that we were, from the vegan festival that we went to this weekend. There's a place that makes dill pickles in Asheville, and the vendor was there, and she has these really great beets. And you guys know that I always complain about beets and about how they taste like dirt, but these didn't taste like dirt. These were nice. They were kind of like pickled maybe or something. They were really good. I really liked them. Let's see, I'm getting through. Alrighty, everybody's chatting, talking about Angela's little workouts. And Angela's going to be on again soon, and we will get the replay of Angela's stuff up today. Actually, it might already be up. Let's see. Yeah, see, and Fergus popped on. You guys saw Fergus. I'm sorry you guys still haven't seen the new kitty yet. I don't know where they were following each other around a minute ago. I'm sure at some point she's going to jump up here and you guys are going to get to see her, and it's going to be a squeal fest because she is adorable and she's tiny. Compared to Fergus, she's just like this tiny little thing. All right. And Apple says, Brandy, you are welcome to walk while joining our Body Doubling sessions. You do whatever you want. That's right. Jill says, let's stop chatting. All right, guys. I'm going through. I'm getting to the end. I think I'm getting to the end. And Jennifer says, thanks for the encouraging words. I am just the queen of excuses, and I am a work from home hermit. I am now too. Yay! But we'll do this. We'll do this together. All right, everybody's going good night. Good night. Yes, kindness and no judging others. That is exactly what we want for this group. And I feel like we've got that here. I feel like everybody here genuinely cares about everybody else in this group. Good night to everyone. Get down to the end. And Brandy says, I think we'll keep you here all night. It's very easy to keep me here all night. So I do have to get up in the morning, and at some point we'll get this down to an hour. I just don't know how, because we get going and everybody is just like having such a good time talking to each other. And I hate to tear you guys apart for the evening, but I do have to go because I do have to go to the doctor early in the morning. It's my fasting blood work. And so with that, I will say very good night to you all. I hope you all sleep well. Gina, shut down whatever you're doing. Shut your eyes early today. Try to do it. Try to go to bed about 15 minutes earlier and see if you can do it. I am going to go to bed earlier tonight as well. And we'll touch base with each other throughout the week and make sure. And anybody else that wants to touch base with me, you know where to get me. Just email support@healthyslowcooking.com, and that goes directly to me, and I would love to hear from you guys. So everybody, have a great week. Reach out if you need anything. We'll be on tomorrow. We have Stacy from the Starch Solution on at 1 o'clock, I believe. Unless that has changed. I did not look at the calendar, but that was the last thing I heard. That was what was going on tomorrow. So I will send out a invite through Heartbeat for that, if that is still going on. And everybody have a great night. And I'm going to go hug on my kitties and go to